Ever wonder how a seemingly small conflict on the Korean Peninsula ignited a global flashpoint? The Korean War from 1950 to 1953 was more than just a local skirmish. It involved superpowers, tested new tactics, and shaped East Asian geopolitics in lasting ways. Let's start this journey by uncovering the explosive beginnings that dragged North and South Korea into a brutal confrontation, ultimately reshaping the region's fate. Hostility erupted when North Korea, backed by the Soviet Union, invaded South Korea in June 1950. This sudden push caught the South off guard, forcing them into retreat. Yet international forces, led by the U.S., rapidly rallied under the United Nations banner. The stage was set for a fierce showdown that would challenge boundaries, alliances, and ideologies in a conflict that quickly surpassed anything the Korean Peninsula had witnessed before. While the North promoted communist ideals, the South embraced Western-aligned democracy. Tensions soared as each side viewed the other as an existential threat to its system. The war thus became a proxy contest between the Soviet Union and the United States, each eager to expand or preserve influence. This ideological clash turned strategic actions into symbolic victories, raising the stakes for every division crossed and every hill wrestled away from enemy hands. The Truman administration decided to intervene, seeing a critical test for containment policy. American troops flooded into South Korea, joined by a coalition from across the globe. Their combined force offered hope to a battered nation, yet fierce battles raged along shifting front lines. Every inch gained or lost drew intense attention, reflecting deeper fears about the domino effect of communism and the immediate need to halt its spread in Asia. A major turn came with General MacArthur's daring Incheon landing in September 1950. The amphibious assault recaptured Seoul and pushed North Korean forces back beyond the 38th parallel. Suddenly, the tide shifted, sparking hopes of a swift end. Yet the possibility of rolling back communism entirely lured MacArthur northward. This maneuver would soon draw China's wrath, proving that overreaching ambitions could fuel an even larger conflagration and prolong the grinding conflict. When hundreds of thousands of Chinese troops poured across the Yalu River, the conflict's scope expanded dramatically. The new offensive drove United Nations forces back, retaking Seoul in tense street battles. American leadership struggled with how far to push without triggering another world war. Fear of nuclear escalation loomed, intensifying a brutal seesaw fight. Bloodshed soared as winter's sub-zero conditions compounded the misery, and soldiers faced unimaginable conditions day after day. Talks to end hostilities began in 1951, but progress stalled over prisoner exchanges and the contested borders. Negotiations dragged on, testing the patience of troops and civilians caught in the crossfire. Each side postured, refusing to concede any advantage. In the trenches, frustration brewed under relentless artillery barrages and punishing terrain. As diplomatic overtures hit snags, the cost of inaction was measured in lives lost, families torn apart, and lingering resentment. Military stalemates became the norm, with both sides fortifying positions along the 38th parallel. Battles like Heartbreak Ridge and Pork Chop Hill exemplified the grueling, back-and-forth nature of the war. Morale waned, yet leadership feared any softening of resolve would tip the balance. Technological developments, including jets and advanced artillery, upped the intensity of engagements. But by mid-1953, the appetite for prolonged fighting diminished, paving the way for a crucial armistice. In July 1953, an armistice brought open conflict to a halt, though no formal peace treaty was signed. This uneasy truce left the peninsula divided along a demilitarized zone. Millions of lives had been forever changed, with regions devastated and countless families separated. Despite widespread destruction, neither side could claim a clear victory. The war's aftermath lingered, leaving lingering bitterness and elevated Cold War tensions that would echo for decades ahead. Today, the Korean War stands as a sobering reminder of how swiftly regional tensions can explode into global crises. Its lessons on diplomacy, deterrence, and ideological warfare remain significant. Though overshadowed by larger conflicts, Korea's divisions still shape geopolitics, reminding us that unresolved struggles linger long after the guns fall silent. By reflecting on these events, we understand the painful costs of war, the resilience of a people, and the pursuit of peace.